People are all the time asking me about fights in prison, so the most ironic fight that I ever saw in prison was over a church service. So there was this service who would come, and they only came once every like 2 or 3 months, but they were called the Israelites. And like there were two groups of girls. There were your church girls, and they went to like all the church services, and then there were the other girls who didn't go to church, and that was fine. But when the Israelites came, all the non-church girls went to church. The Israelites, they came fully loaded, and they put on such a service. Like everybody would be jumping, the whole chapel would be like rattling. They brought like super deep like drums, and it was bass, and it was just a lot of worship, you know. It was so exhilarating. An officer would put out a sign-up sheet on every building, and there were only like maybe 15 slots or so on the sign-up sheet, and you had to sign up in order to be allowed to go to that church service. Well, it filled up really fast when the Israelites came. When they put the sign-up sheet out, it would be at like 3 p.m. Well, a lot of girls were at work at 3 p.m. By the time they got there, it would be all filled up. And so they would tell their friends to sign the sign-up sheet for them. Well, I was in line one time because like I wanted to see the Israelites too. I loved them. This girl up front, she goes and she freaking starts filling out every single line with like her friends' names. She is filling the sheet up, and there's still like 10 people behind her, and they start like yelling. They're like, girl, what are you doing? You know, like that's not fair. If they're not here, they can't sign up. So one girl was feeling really upset about it. She went up there and all the names that the girl had written, she scratched them out and she wrote her name. And then the girl behind her did the same thing, scratched the name out and wrote her name. Well, the girl who had wrote the names for her friends got upset, and she went and tried to like grab the sheet from her, like fighting over this piece of paper, like going back and forth. And this girl like shoves the other girl, and there's like concrete, you know, like in prisons, like those painted concrete blocks. She hits her head up against the concrete block or whatever, and it busted her head. And like blood is a thing in prison, like nobody wants to be around it because of like infectious diseases and stuff. And so everybody's like backing up and like, whoa, like what the heck is going on? And finally an officer intervened, and she told us that nobody was going to see the Israelites. And I just thought it was ironic because later at like 6 p.m. when the church service started, she actually let a few of us go to see the Israelites. And like on the way there, I was like, dang, that's a shame. Like they got in a fight because they both wanted to go to church.